I would like to call upon the dais Shri Prakash Kumar, DMD, SIDBI, Mumbai.
Very good morning to all of you. All the dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Maiti, and all of you from the microfinance sector who are here today. It's always a pleasure to be among the microfinance practitioners. I've been in SIDBI for a very long time, but my journey with microfinance started when I came to the microfinance department post-Andhra crisis. So I've seen this sector struggling through the Andhra crisis and the multiple crises thereafter. And I've headed the microfinance vertical of SIDBI as well for a brief period in between. And seen through that demonetization, the COVID, the Assam, etc., etc. Just want to say that, as many of you may be aware, SIDBI has been with this sector since beginning. We started lending to the NGOs way back in 1995-96 when we started our microcredit support program, microcredit scheme on a pilot basis. When the SHG was only the other way of doing microfinance. And people did not believe that an NGO can actually be a lender. Those were early days. Then, as the program succeeded in 2000, we set up a full-fledged department called SIDBI Foundation for Microcredit, SFMC. And with the help of DFID of UK and AFD of France, we started a national microfinance support program wherein for 7 years, with a good technical assistance support from these agencies, international agencies, we could do a lot of sector building work with the sector and gradually saw these NGOs transitioning into regulated entities, NBFCs. And then the Andhra crisis, the regulations, and then the SFBs, Bandhan Bank. It has been a long journey. And when we look back each time on a forum like this, it gives us a lot of satisfaction that together we have been able to create this robust sector, which many in the government perhaps did not believe at that point of time. So all credit goes to all of you who are sitting here in this hall today. Now, SIDBI has been always there with the sector. There's no formal role adopted by us, unlike NABARD, who used to claim ownership of SHG Bank Linkage Program, but we have always been there with the sector. And it is not only lending which we have done. We have done immense capacity building of the MFIs when once upon a time we used to give technical assistance with the help of these support that we had, capacity building assistance to the MFIs. The capacity assessment rating was introduced by SIDBI when we felt that other banks should also come and start lending, because giving unsecured loan to an entity without any security, it was not easy to convince the banks to come over and start lending. The code of conduct assessment to push the fair practices code in partnership with associations like MFIN and Sadhan, and so many other activities. I can keep on listing them out here, but that's not the objective. It's just to give a background. Now, as we stand today, it has been almost 30 years of microfinance. I just like to highlight a couple of things which is very close to my heart, and I've been talking about this on the recent all the microfinance forums where I've been attending. The most important thing, and you must have heard that there's always a conflict. The sector, although it has been 25 to 30 years old, this conflict about the interest rate being charged has always been there. So there's a section in the government, section in the political, this thing that they believe that we are charging too high in interest rates. It's very difficult to convince them that we are actually a social organization. We are actually an impact organization. we have heard a lot of criticisms. Recently, in April 2022, when RBI has come out with the new guidelines, they have deregulated the interest rate, and now again you are hearing those concerns. They feel that we are not acting responsibly enough and interest rates are going up, and this was not the intention of these regulations. These concerns are coming, and these concerns keep on coming every 3 to 4 years. You pass through this cycle. And the question always has been that how to make it a more stable kind of a system, have a more larger acceptability with the government system. RBI has done a wonderful job, and they are behind this sector now, and they are able to handle all the issues coming on the ground very effectively. With RBI support, the associations, the SROs are able to handle these issues very effectively. But still, a section of the people believe that we need to do much more. Now, how can we do that? So if in the last 25 years we have been working with the poor, Microfinance was a poverty alleviation program. That's how we started. It became a financial inclusion thing later on, that we are providing credit to a segment of people who are not able to approach the bank. And that was a philosophy which SIDBI also started, that I heard Mr. Samit Ghosh video saying that this was the last piece to be tackled. And MFIs have been able to tackle that problem. But the interest rate has been a concern. And the question has always been raised that are we making a difference in the life of the people that we serve? Or we are just doing pure commercial business with them? This question all of you have to ask yourself. Are you a pure commercial organization? Or are you a social impact-driven organization who is making a difference in the life of the people whom you are serving? And you will get the answers. If after, say, 20, 25 years, the customer continues to remain with us, we have not been able to graduate them to the next level of their business activity, then I guess we are just doing business with them. Let's accept it. And as long as that thing will there, the criticism will always come. That you're not making any difference in the life of the people, you're simply doing business with them, earning for yourself. And this I've heard enough, working closely with the government. So that's where I say that we have to actually, and we know that we are working, a lot of things is being done, a lot of CSR activities is being done. Financial literacy trainings have been given. A yeoman role has been played in bringing these people on the digital framework, because now all the disbursements, 100% of the disbursements are happening through bank accounts. So we have played a very important role in financial inclusion. No doubt about it. But what more can be done? Can we think of formalizing the impact assessment framework within the MFIs? Instead of doing it in a piecemeal manner, instead of telling some anecdotal stories of one woman talking about how she changed her life, which can always be questioned, can we start doing this in a more scientific manner and start measuring the impact on the life of the people based on the data? Then we can actually convince all the other stakeholders who are sitting on the other side that no, we are actually making difference in the life of the people whom we are serving. So we have actually partnered with Sadhan, and off and on studies have been conducted where impact has been assessed, but they always come under question, because the studies have to do a comparative analysis over a period of time. Those kinds of studies are not available. So if you go and just do a survey of 5,000 people, it will just be anecdotal thing. There's no scientific evidence available that their lives actually changed because of microfinance intervention. So those kinds of studies are required. And there are some MFIs who are still completely socially oriented, like you know that Cashpore is there in Varanasi. They're still charging 17 to 18%. I was talking to their MD and he was telling me that they have a profit target for the year, and if the profit exceeds that number, then whatever is the differential amount is distributed as interest incentive, interest subsidy, or interest incentive to the customers. So they say that we don't want to make a profit beyond this, whatever be the circumstances. That's the other extreme I'm talking about. You are driven by equity investors, you are driven by shareholders. So this balancing is required to be done. But this study that we are taking for 5,000 large group using IGIDR to actually convince the stakeholders that yes, we are doing some significant work with the poor people. And also this study will document the best practices which some of the MFIs are following to measure the impact on the lives of the people. And maybe we can build upon that and take that agenda forward, that each and every MFI should actually make it mandatory that we have to measure the impact on the lives of the people. Now, coming to the second issue, 2018-19, we realized that we now need to work with the people who are graduating out of the microfinance segment. It's high time. Even now in SHG movement, the talk is of graduating them to individual loan because there are limitations how much you can borrow. And then there's no point in borrowing from 2 or 3 MFIs just to meet your requirement to do a meaningful business, because you cannot give perhaps more than 45,000-50,000 rupees the average loan size. It's not sufficient. So we started a Prayas program in partnership with the MFIs. The intention was that we'll be able to pick those clients who deserve a higher ticket size loans and give them those kinds of loans, maybe 2 lakh, 3 lakhs, or even up to 5 lakhs, who have been with us for 8 to 10 cycles and who deserve to be supported in that manner. So Prayas program of SIDBI works like this, that you act as our banking correspondent and you originate these loans in the books of SIDBI. It serves 2 purposes. One is that it does not affect your qualifying assets portfolio, which has to be maintained at a certain level, which is very strict norms. Again, MFin and Sadhan have taken up for relaxation in those 75% of net assets. So these, obviously, if you start doing a lot of these businesses, you will have those problems of qualifying assets. So these loans can actually be partnered with SIDBI, and you can originate these loans in SIDBI's books as an agent. And second is that your own customers who have crossed the income threshold of 3 lakh rupees will not have to go out anywhere, because as it is, they don't have many options left. You have served them for so many years, and suddenly you realize that the income has gone above 3 lakh. Now what do we do? So one way is that you manipulate the income and somehow show that they're still there with you by showing that at 3 lakh rupees and less, but how long this can continue? So in this Prayas program, if you partner with SIDBI, you can actually retain the customers, keep on servicing them with the backing of SIDBI. We are proud to say that we have crossed around disbursed loans to around 2 lakh customers, and 1.7 lakh customers are outstanding. The outstanding is close to 2,200 crores. And our ambition, our chairman's ambition, is to take it to 10,000 crore by next year. 5x growth. So all the MFIs are welcome to use this platform being provided by SIDBI to look at your graduating customers and provide higher ticket size loans. We have already got limit sanction. The digital processes have stabilized. There were some issues. The COVID came and then we had to stop it for some time. So all those issues, if you have experienced any such issues in the past, all the issues has been addressed. It's a very, very smooth IT system which is in place. In fact, some of the MFIs have been able to create 100 crore book in just 3 to 4 months after doing system integration. So this is one. Second thing that we are doing is, again, in terms of impact, when I said that there was a problem that we did not know how many micro enterprises are there in this country. Different studies will give different figure. There was no authentic data. So while there was a Udyam registration platform for MSMEs, micro enterprises, where Udyam registration has been made now mandatory if you want to claim the priority sector benefit that you are aware by RBI. So the MSMEs who were formal MSMEs, they were able to register on this platform by using their GST identity and PAN. But we know that that number is very limited. It could be 10% of the total universe, which could be 7 crore, 9 crore, 10 crore. Nobody knows that number. SIDBI worked with the Ministry of MSME to set up a Udyam Assist platform, where the informal micro enterprises could actually be onboarded on Udyam and be given an Udyam registration number without having a PAN or without having a GST. So it's basically catering to the non-GST segment completely. This was launched by the Honorable Minister of MSME in January last year, just 1 year. And today we have 1.42 crore informal micro enterprises registered on this Udyam Assist platform. If you compare with the other platform, which is the main platform, the total number is 2 crore. And now it's stagnating. We're just hoping that by next year we'll have 4 to 5 crores customer registered on this platform. And how it works is that we work through the partners. So somebody has to identify that he's a micro enterprise, because self-certification is not possible. So the lenders, the NBFCs, the banks, the MFIs, they are the people who will upload the data on the platform. There's a requirement of an Aadhaar authentication, and we know that MFIs are not allowed to take Aadhaar as a part of KYC. So this Aadhaar seeding is done separately on the portal by calling the customer to your office or by whatever means, by your field officers. So try to see that this kind of an initiative, which is an initiative of Government of India, MFIs cannot be left behind. You're serving to 7 crore unique customers collectively across all the models. So banks are actually coming forward, and Bandhan has given a lot of numbers on this platform. The benefit that will come to this segment is manifold. Whatever is the government making a program, because of lack of authentic data, these programs are not properly directed. You can get lots of benefit to your customer. There's a proposal to give a revolving facility to all the enterprises who are registered on this platform. It will take some time, but already talks are going on. So many things can be built around this data. And the most important thing, which RBI has already said now very clearly, that for any micro enterprise, if you want the priority sector benefit to be taken, the URC is mandatory. So for you, the benefit is that your customer will get an URC. He'll come in the formal cycle. You can take proud that you have formalized your customer, number one. And number two, I've been reading that you have these issues of identification because voter ID is the only KYC that you use. And voter IDs can be duplicated. Aadhaar is not allowed to be used. There's a demand that allow us to use Aadhaar, but that will come, that will not come, we don't know. But this Udyam number for the customer will become a unique identity. So the problem that you are facing in terms of identifying your customers will be taken away to a large extent if all the micro enterprises are registered on this platform. So far, microfinance, the progress is very, very slow. NBFCs are very active, banks are very active. Microfinance, the progress has been slow. I urge all the MFIs here, we are working very closely with all of you to understand what are the issues, challenges, problems. But let's do it. By next year when we meet here, we should have registered perhaps 70-80% of our micro enterprise customers on this platform. Now, a couple of more things I'll talk about. We are doing a V-Lead program with Amphi. We are doing a V-Lead program with Sadhan, Osafi. The idea again here is that let's invest on building capacities of our clients. It pays. Because you can do more business with them. And obviously, when I say more business with them, we have to look at the graduating customers. And the probability of a default also decreases. So if we take a parallel, SIDBI did not only lend to the sector. In the 2000s, which I'm talking about, SIDBI did not just say that we'll give you debt. We said that we'll invest in your capacity building. We said that we'll give you transformation loan to convert from NGOs to NBFCs. We said that we'll do sector building work through capacity assessment rating, COCA ratings, etc. We'll do policy advocacy for you. So all this actually helped SIDBI also to derive a greater mileage. I mean, the equity investment that we made in that period in entities like Bandhan and Equitas and SKS, Bharat Financial Inclusion, that wiped out our entire losses that we suffered because of Andhra NPA. So it makes commercial sense to actually invest in building capacities of your people. So this V-Lead program is just an example. You want to test that how you can actually work with your customers to build their capacities, take them to the next level, and how you can serve them better. If this program succeeds, and we hope that it will, then we'll request that it should be taken up at the association level by all of you. SIDBI will always be there to. Yes, Safi also started. So this is a very good program. We'll have a discussion. Mr. Acharya is there who is driving this program from SIDBI side, our CGM. We'll be talking about that. But we should think seriously about investing in capacities. Obviously, there's talk about vulnerability issues to be taken care of. There are challenges there, health programs. We are trying to work with, again, with Cashport to see that whether we can link the microfinance ecosystem. We had some discussion with National Health Authority, who's running the Ayushman Bharat program. So we're trying to see, doing a pilot with Cashport to see that if we can get our customers to get the benefit of Ayushman Bharat. Many of them, despite being eligible, are not able to get that benefit. So that is one. Currently, you're providing perhaps Hospi Cash kind of facility, which is also good. MFIN is talking about a NatCat, natural calamity assurance. All these things are required. The customer has to be seen at a holistic level. Again, when you're talking about the impact. Now, two more things I'd like to highlight before I conclude. So SIDBI is not about only giving loans, as I said. A lot of developmental activities, sector building activities, and of course, two more pieces, equity and guarantee. We run an India Microfinance Equity Fund. It is stuck. We are trying to make changes. Today morning only I was discussing with Mr. Memon that this will need advocacy with the government because the fund is there. We are sitting on almost 300 crores of unutilized funds, but we are not able to give equity support to small MFIs because of the certain constraints that we are having in the way the fund design has been done, and whatever based on our experiences, we've given this to government. Sadhan and MFIN are also pitching very strongly. Let's hope that these issues get resolved. This fund size also gets increased so that we are able to provide equity support to the MFIs. We have done that in the past. Almost 150 crore equity was given, but the design needs to improve. The quantum of 5 crore needs to increase, considering the current size of the microfinance sector. That's number one. And second is the guarantee. So we know that CGTMSE you must have heard about. SIDBI along with MSME is pioneering this guarantee program, which is perhaps the world's largest guarantee program today. Last year, we could reach a figure of 1 lakh crore of guarantees being issued in 1 year by CGTMSE. And this year, we've already crossed 1.5 lakh crore of guarantee. And it'll touch maybe 1.75 to 2 lakh crore by this year. So government is very proactively providing the guarantee. You must have heard about the recent changes in the guarantee scheme where guarantees up to 20 lakh rupees. There was an issue of taking a primary security by the banks. That also has been done away with. Even unsecured loans can be guaranteed. But from the microfinance perspective, I just like to highlight a few things. We're working on modifying the scheme. There was a scheme, but it had certain constraints like a lock-in period of 18 months because of which perhaps you're not interested in taking the guarantee because your loan size itself is maybe 18 months to 24 months. We are conscious of this fact. The changes have been made. It's just awaiting the final approval. The benefit here is that now it will guarantee, you can take guarantee up to 65%. 65% loan will be guaranteed by CGTMSE. So the guarantee is one benefit. The larger benefit is, and you must appreciate this point, that suppose you are a 500 crore MFI and you guarantee your entire portfolio at a cost of say 0.75% annual, not very high. The 65% of that portfolio which is guaranteed, the capital charge on that portfolio, on that book, will be zero. Because the sovereign guarantee which is coming, so RBI allows that capital charge on that book to be zero. So 65% of your book, you won't have to provide any capital. So it's a very exciting opportunity which is coming. And I think you must take benefit of it this time when the revamped guidelines come into place. It will certainly help you to manage your capital better, manage your portfolio better, losses better. Right? So these are some of my thoughts, and As I said, it's always a pleasure. I have been there with the microfinance sector for a very long time, so many of the people know me. It seldom happens in a public sector entity that you get to spend so much time in microfinance sector. I've been 2012 onwards, on some pretext or the other, I've been closely associated with this sector. I'm fortunate. And that's why I feel very strongly about this sector and its future. It's always good to do a crystal ball gazing. What will happen 5 years from now, the way things are changing, digitizations. I mean, a lot of things are happening, competition from the banks. Good thing is that NBFC, MFI is again caught up. So you'll always have an important role to play. It is proven the pure play MFIs will always be important. But a lot of things need to be done to prepare ourselves for the next 5 years. Yeah, and hope the deliberations today will actually add to whatever I said. Thank you.